How you going? Well, it's been an exciting couple of weeks and it's been a while since I've done a Hooray It's Thursday live. So I thought today I had the opportunity. I thought the universe was trying to stop me for a while there, but today I've had the opportunity to come online and do a live with you. So I'm just going to give a few people a little bit of a chance to jump on. I'm going to do something completely different. I'm not going to make a card with you. I'm going to show you what I did. So I've had a couple of weeks off work and then I've hit the ground running when I went back this week. I had a weekend away scrapbooking. And then I've had a couple of days at home, and then I headed down to Melbourne for Onstage. Now, Onstage is what's going to be a yearly event. It does change frequently as to what they call it, how often they run it, how many days it lasts, all that sort of stuff. But each year, Stampin' Up has an annual catalogue that comes out. I can only show you the cover. I can't show the insides. I can send you one when I get my hot little hands on them at the beginning of April. So if you would like one, pop a message in the chat or flick me a private message and I'll get one into your hot little hands as soon as I get them in mine. So I went to Onstage. It was a 3-day event. Ours was in Melbourne. There was also one held in Rotterdam. Hi, how you going? Welcome. There was one held in Rotterdam and there was also one held in Houston in America. So I had the privilege of being asked to show everyone one of the new suites. There's heaps of new suites. There's heaps of new goodies. They've set out the catalogue completely different to the way they normally do. Actually, I'll show you the front now. This is what the front looks like. I'll just change over to my other camera. That is what the front looks like. Hi, how you going? It's good to see so many people here, and it's good to see so many people saying hello. I'm very glad. So what they've done is they've changed the way that the front looks. One of the things that, yes, Stamping Up is about card making. It is about paper craft. It is about stamps, inks, and paper as the bare basics. But really what it's about, and what this cover is now showing us, is it's actually about our community. Our community is what's important. Hi, Elizabeth. How you going? And one of the focuses that we have is bringing people together over stamps, ink, and paper, but bringing them together to be creative, to express their creativity, to lavish in your creativity, whatever the case may be, but bringing them together over the stamps, inks, and paper. And one of the byproducts is that we can extend that and we can share those cards with others to let them know that we care. So that's something that's really important to them as a business and as a company. And that's actually what I found when I went down to Onstage. There was 480 demonstrators at Onstage in Australia. We had the other 2 3-day events. So I can only begin to imagine how many people were at these events. The event was like getting back together with old friends, and so many friends. And I had the advantage that I actually presented at that. I got asked if I'd be interested. I said yes. I did the interview. I saw what the product was. I loved it straight away, and I'm actually going to show you what I did. So, and what I got to use. So, oh, I've left some of it behind, but that's okay. I'll show you what I did, what I've got to see, and what I got to work with, so that you can see why we love it, and you'll be able to hear in my voice what I loved about it most. I got to present first, so I had a distinct advantage. Everyone was engaged, everyone was there, they were excited, and they really wanted to see something new. We could see we have a product purchase premier order, which is an advantage for those people that are going to Onstage. So Stamping Up gives demonstrator perks. They give, if you go to an event, they'll give you perks for going to the events. And one of those perks would be, in this case, the product purchase premier order. So we could pre-order things before anybody else, or before other demonstrators even could. Demonstrators can pre-order from this new catalogue a select amount of things in April. So if you really want some new stuff and you're not a demonstrator, you're welcome to join. I've popped my join link into the little blurb that you can see. So pop on there and you can join, and then you'll be able to pre-purchase some of the things that are starting in May. You'll be able to pre-purchase some of them in April. All right. So I'm sure that you'd really like to see stuff rather than me just rabbiting on. But so what I'll do is I'll switch over to my camera, switch my camera over again. This is the Adventurous Sky. It's part of a suite called Take to the Sky, which I thought was lots and lots of fun. It's not flowers. I do like some. I do like a lot of our flowers, but sometimes you can have too many flowers. Um, so when I saw it and I knew it was aeroplanes, and Cheryl, I'm sorry, I couldn't say anything when I knew you needed a card with an aeroplane on it. I couldn't say, but I know there's one coming. I couldn't do that. So what happened was when you say yes, you're going to present, you actually have to keep the information to yourself until after the presentation. So that's what I did. So it's aeroplanes. So they're from the early 1900s, these aeroplanes, probably even earlier. But we got like little tiger moth type things. We've got some clouds. There's line art images. Now, there is a die set, and I've left the little what I did when I first got this set is I thought, I've got nothing to copy. And I don't know about you guys, but when we copy things, I wonder if this will let me do both at the same time. Okay. Now I need to know what I'm doing here. Nah. And it's me again. And it's not going to let me do both of them at the same time. So you can't see me looking up and talking to you. You're just going to presume that I am. Okay, when my hands are going like this. So Elizabeth, it needs to be on your wish list. And I've got a whole heap of cards to show you. So I'm only going to add it to your wish list even greater. Now, when I saw this stamp set, I just thought, oh, great, it's a bloke stamp set. There's lots of things that I can do with it. I need it. We've got line art images, so they can be coloured in. We've got heaps of different mediums that you can colour with. So they can be coloured in with our Stampin' Blends. They can be coloured in with a blender pen and our pencils. Lots of different things. You can, I'll keep chatting. But it comes with coordinating dies. Now, when I first get a stamp set, I put the stamp together. So in this case, I stick the stickers on. I always keep my other piece there just so that it doesn't stick to the back here because it's easier to get off that piece of baking paper. These are the dies. So you'll notice that the clouds can all be cut out. So these clouds can all be cut out with dies. These three planes can all be cut out with dies. There's a banner. All right. Now the words happy birthday and to my friend. Oh, whoops, I've just made them all fall off. Will actually fit on that banner. There's a banner rope in here somewhere. Okay, so that you can actually make it so that your plane's pulling along your banner with your happy birthday to your friend. But then there's also an extra plane. That's the big one. There's the little propellers. You can cut two of them out at the same time, which is pretty cool. But there's this plane here. And I'm not sure how easy it's going to be to see. But these two layer on top of each other to create another plane. All right, see that? And I got to also tell everybody that another great thing that's coming back to our annual catalogue that I have missed, and I don't know, Elizabeth, you may have missed it as well, but that is silver foil. So these planes look even better in silver foil. So I've got some of them already made up, so I'll show you. So I'll just close that up. Now, along with that, so we've got stamps, dies, we've got designer series paper. I'm a scrapbooker by heart. Some of you know that, some of you don't. Thanks, Linda. This set can be found on 36 and 37 when you get your new catalogue. So this I really love this page. So this is a scrapbooking paper. It's 12 by 12. This particular page has elements that you can cut out. So you can make them as, for want of a better word, you can put them as like, you could do some journaling down here. You could just have them as page elements for something different. There's some tags all down the bottom here. And then on the back of it, which is actually my favorite piece. And if you're a demonstrator, you ever get asked to demonstrate, I can say they are very generous. They give you heaps of stuff to use and then some. And Yeah, thank heavens it is coming back. They give you heaps of stuff to use. So I've got enough. I'm going to play with. I really like this particular page. Oh, it's very bright here today. And had I been thinking, right, this would have made a great background for a scrapbook page I've done, but I think I made it work pretty good. So that's the back of that page. So we've got on the front piece, we've got all the front of the paper, or one side of the paper, there's all aeroplane type images or sky images. So we've got airplanes, clouds, more airplanes. The main colors in this packet are Night of Navy, Boho Blue, Mossy Meadow, Copper Clay, and Smoky Slate. So there you get 6 different designs. And I got really good at doing it this way. So you've got 6 different like image patterns that are to do with to do with planes in the sky. And when you turn it over, you've got 6 different types of images. So you've got some checks. This one here, I really like this one too. This smoky slate one here, it looks like, if you're looking down, and it looks like all the farmyards, but then if you look really close, it actually looks like it's all bits of metal riveted together. So it's pretty cool. We've got this one here's just another check, and then this one looks like, I don't know what they're called. Is it topographic maps? Someone can tell me, but it looks like a map of the land, but then it's got all of the undulations of the mountains, and I think that's what they call it when they do it that way. So lots of great patterns. So both sides are very, very versatile. Right. Then, so what I did was, because scrapbooking is my favorite, this is, and today is our Scrapbooking Global blog hop. This is the page that I scrapbooked. Okay, so with this page, I've used, that's one of the tags, and then I've just used, this is the Baker's Twine Essentials Pack, and for those that are demonstrators already, it's staying. For those that are customers, you can still going to be able to get it. You can get it now, you can get it later, the choice is yours. I will make a note that there is going to be a couple of little price rises in the catalogue, so stuck up on some basics. I'll put, as it gets closer to the catalogue retiring and the new one starting, I'll put up some messages to remind people to stock up on some of the basics, so that you can make sure that you've got things like our glues going up and a few other things. Still heaps cheaper than Spotlight, but the glue's going up. So I've done some embossing of some clouds here. I've also done some clouds. They're really hard to see. Can you see that one up there? It turned out well, didn't it, Linda? With the vellum. Linda will be very sad that vellum is going. Okay. One of my friends said to me, "Why? I love it. Why don't they listen to the why don't they listen to the customers? We want it to stay." And I said, "Well, the customers are obviously talking. They're not buying enough. So if they're taking away something, it's because we didn't buy it often enough, and they're going to put something more fabulous on the shelf." So it's as easy as that. If you love something, keep using it, so that you keep having to get some more, so that they can keep they can say, "Yep, this is obviously a fabulous product. We'll keep this because keeps walking off the shelf." So this one here is the back with that. That's this piece here. That's the back of this one. Okay, I couldn't get the plane to work. Yeah, I hear you, Linda. Mind you, I only bought a packet of vellum 2 weeks ago, so I totally get what you're saying. All right, so look how excellent that aeroplane looks with the silver foil there, and that's Night of Navy behind it. Now, I don't know if you can see them. I didn't bring over the container, but look at these. We've got some bloke style bling, for want of a better way of putting it. But these little trinkets, they're called industrial trinkets. They got a funny, just a rough side on the other side. But how cool are they? I made mention that they look like the rivets on the aeroplane before, when I was doing my presentation. I think I got 4 photos of aeroplane rivets from looking out the window of the plane. So I know that they know who I'm talking about too. I know that rang true for more than a few people. So this photo is of my grandfather. He served in World War II, and they're all black and white photos back then. So it actually worked quite nicely because I could just use the color palette that was in the catalog, in the designer series paper. So yeah. Right, so this page is actually up on my blog at the moment. Scrapbook, if you're a scrapbooker and you want to join us, Scrapbooking Global does a monthly blog hop. There's a different theme each month, and you can come and anyone can join. The main idea is that it's Stampin' Up catalogs. Well, got some extra bits here. Stamping Up. Use all your Stampin' Up products and you can do it. So what I did, I'll do it this way so that you can see. We stuck post-it notes on the back of our projects and then just stuck a little dot on them so that we didn't actually wreck them. So I'm going to take these off as I go. So I presented this card here. Oh, there it is. As my first example. I aimed it at a beginner stamper. Because we just had some basic stamping and we had just two different colors. So I used Smoky Slate and Boho Blue. We just added our dimensional with a little bit of added our sentiment with some dimensionals so that way it just popped it up a little bit. So a very nice, very basic card. And then I've just followed it through with the inside. Okay. So that's our first one. And I don't know, I think my sun's going to be too bright there. Then I showed everyone these two. So what the difference is with these two is that are different from that first one. I've added an extra color. So this time I've used Mossy Meadow in my card making. I've used Mossy Meadow to stamp the planes and for my sentiment. I've added extra designer series paper. Now you'll notice that the two planes have got a little bit of color, not much. So when you look here, I can bring this a bit closer to you. This one up here, up the top, I've just used the blender pen and I've just pushed a little bit of the ink around. This one here, I've colored the plane with my watercolor pencils and then I've pushed the pencil around. So you can see the difference in the two lots of coloring techniques that you can do. That's just the old olive and the basic grey pencil, because I needed to make sure that you could see that the propeller made a little bit of a different color. So here I've just added this designer series paper underneath here. On here, the designer series paper is on the top. So essentially to me, they're both the same card. I did add a little bit of creative cutting, but that's okay. And then I've added some of the elements. These industrial trinkets are heavy and you will need glue dots to add them to your projects and make sure they stay, because they do have a little bit of weight in them, which is more than what our trinkets normally do. Oh, and really cool, the packet, you get 40 of them in the packet. So I'm really excited about that. Then I bought in, not that one. Where's the next card? Oh boy. I showed everybody, I had made a template. The girls that came to my last retreat know about this template. So this is a template that I made. All right. You can find this all over YouTube. This is called a split front technique. You'll find lots of different people showing you how to do it and talking about it. So created the template. We've cut the template down to create what ended up being was one piece of paper initially, and I've turned it into, using the template, I've turned it into 3 pieces of paper. So I did this, and you can use it for any designer series paper, just so that I can say. Now, if you wanted to, you could actually have 2 different pieces of designer series paper, cut them at exactly the same time, and then that means that you've got this middle piece that you can just swap out, so you can do alternating. So like one card's got this on the top and then the other piece on the bottom. I haven't got an example to show you because I've only got the one piece cut. And then your other card's got this piece as the bottom piece, right? And then you end up with a card that looks like this one. Okay, so what I've done is I've layered up, I've just put a strip of a Night of Navy underneath here, so that when I've laid it up, you can't see the edge underneath for that bottom piece. I did a little bit of extra heat embossing, added a bit more twine because I knew it was staying. This time I've used different colors to color my planes. And did you notice they're going in different directions? How cool is that? So you could actually add planes to both cards, and they're all going in different directions. So it actually makes it look a bit more aesthetically pleasing. All right. So there's lots of different things you can do with that. So let's keep those up there. I then made a whole, I was asked to make 4 samples. So I then made a whole heap of other samples. This is another one that I made. And again, it's just using one of those tags. I pulled in the silver. This time I used the silver as the body of the plane, and I've used my Night of Navy as the wings. And they're all pretty much they're all pretty similar on the inside. Just following through, making sure that I've decorated. And I didn't do envelopes for on stage, so now I'm going to have to go back through and make a whole heap of envelopes. This one here is a monochromatic card. That is my Night of Navy. That is my Mossy Meadow card. I ended up, because I was practicing so many times and I end up with so many of these, that I've got heaps of planes flying around. So I'm like, how can I use these planes? So I think, oops, sorry, didn't mean to make it go fuzzy. I'll be doing a few more of these just to send out to people as samples. If you want to receive one, just put a little note in the comments or flick me a message and I'll send you one. All right. So then if you do it a different color ways, again, this piece here is from that piece that has all of the different like bits that you can cut up. So this is my favorite card because I really like that color. So I really like copper clay. So I've added some vellum there. I like, even though it's going, but anyway. So then I showed everybody at On Stage this one because I had used the silver foil. I do love the silver foil. I'm so glad that it's back. I think that we'll all be able to find lots of different uses for that. Okay, and then I showed them this one. It's again another one from that piece where you can cut all the bits up. I love how that we can do that. More of the twine. So as I was saying before, if you are a demonstrator and you get asked to present, I will encourage you to say yes. Everybody was so excited for me, so happy to give me positive feedback. I think so many people added this as to their cart extra. There's a Night of Navy one, and I with this. Can you see it? Probably a little bit hard. I did push some of that ink around with my blender pen there. So then we've got a nice Father's Day sentiment in this card, in this stamp set. So I thought, yep, sounds good. With this piece here, you probably can only just see it if you can see it, depending on the size of your screen. I've used the stamp that looks like the rivets of the metal rivets all put together. I've used that stamp, and I stamped off with what color was that? Smoky slate. And then it's just very pale there in the background on that piece of basic white. And I've popped it into the inside there as well. I ended up colouring my plane with the blend so that you couldn't see it through it, just so that it looked like it was sitting on top of it, almost like it's flying over the fields in that one. All right, so that is all the goodies that I made, but I am proud of this. This is one of the alphabets that you can get in the online store, online only exclusive. I love it. Cuts all the letters out at once. I had to send it through 3 times, so I had enough R's, but that's all right because there's a lot of R's in there. I think R's ends. There's a couple of letters it cuts twice. It cuts 2 of each one. Yeah, there's a couple of letters it cuts 2 of, but which is cool. So I just want to encourage you, if you are a demonstrator, why didn't that work? What's going on with my mouse? Thank you, Elizabeth. So what I can say is, if you are a demonstrator, can I suggest when you get to do your pre-order, add this suite to your set, to your cart. If you're not a demonstrator and you want to join for the discount, join at the you can join anytime you like, but I think it's the 4th of April. It might be the 9th. I might be getting a couple of things mixed up because there's lots of stuff happening. But the beginning of April, I'll pop a note up when the time comes. But if you join and you're interested in this suite, when the pre-order starts, you can actually add it to your cart. The whole suite, if you're adding it to your cart, the whole suite collection, which is the stamp set, the dies, the designer series paper, and a packet of the industrial trinkets, is $130.25. So it's like actually a really good value set, and you can get a lot of use out of it as far as I'm concerned, because I had nothing to go by. People sort of say, oh, should I buy this or should I buy that? And the way I look at when I'm purchasing stamp sets is I go, okay, how am I going to use it? How many times can I use it? What sort of things can I make? If I can't see and I don't fall in love with it straight away, but I think I really just want to make that one card, I'll go searching on Pinterest, the internet, wherever I can. Demonstrators also have we have a planning place where we can share information, share photos, all that sort of stuff. So we've got that there. Oh, 2nd of April. Thanks, Linda. Much appreciated. So from the 2nd of April, this can be added to a kit if you want to start, if you want to join as well. But we also have the demonstrator planning place. So you've got there that you can search for images. And if you pop in the name of the stamp set there, Pinterest, Google, wherever, I often look, and if I can find 10 things that I really like, that's enough for me to put that stamp set in my cart and get it here so I can start playing with it. I don't go back and re-look at them, but what I do is if they've got dies with it, I stamp them, I cut all the dies, I play with all of the different components and see where they've matched together just on a single color palette so that I can see what sort of things I can do. So when I say single color palette, I'm talking about something and white. So be it night and navy and white, copper clay and white. Something in white gives me an indication as to what else I can do with it, because then you can add extra color. Designer series papers often have, I think, if I remember correctly, they said on average 6 colors. Some of them have 8, but they look at around 6 colors for their designer series paper range to feature. There might be some other little hints of color thrown in there for good measure, like you might have your flirty flamingo in there, but you might have a little bit lighter or something like that. So when they're looking at what the designer series paper, I know that by working with that paper, I can then, if I've already played with something in a monochrome type way, I can then just add little bits of color with the designer series paper and work from there. So it's one of the ways that I work when I'm trying to create, so that I can then make my own things. I will say there is no reinventing the wheel. If you love something, what we we encourage you to case it. Casing means copy and share everything. So if you really, really love something, go right ahead, copy it, share what you've made. If you want to teach it, just say, this is where I found it. But when you're sharing and you're doing that, you'll actually be inviting people into your community, and you'll be giving them something to love as well. And there's something about the excitement of it all. I really loved this suite. I really love being a Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I know that you guys will too. So in saying that, I'm going to end today's live. I'm not going to stamp with you today because I know I've been chatting for over 30 minutes as it is. And there's so much, because I've had another delivery and I'm going to go and play in some other new stuff that I haven't had the opportunity to play with, so that I've got more things to show you. And it's always good to keep in mind that there's some really great perks to joining, to shopping, and to stamping. All right. So with that, I'm going to say toodaloo to you all. You will be able to catch me on replay. If you are catching me on replay, the new catalogue starts at the beginning of May, and I can tell you the exact date when I turn this off. Starts on the 1st of May. All right. Oh, my cameras are going nuts. Oh, I've changed me. You can't see me now because I bumped one of the cameras. That's okay. I could add another camera back. Look, watch this. There's some great ways of doing things, but this camera shows you my messy room. So don't look at my messy room behind me. You can see nothing, but all is good. All right. What I want to do is say toodaloo to everyone. And yes, I'm going to go and play with my pre-order. I've got the fabulous new colors and all that sort of stuff in there because there's 5 new colors. So lots of exciting stuff happening. And I'll share things as I do. All right. See ya.